Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're tackling the U.S. China trade situation. It's escalating and fast.
Yeah, it really is. We've got some news reports detailing the latest moves.
Exactly. So our goal here is pretty simple. Cut through the noise, understand these latest actions, and maybe figure out what they signal for the bigger relationship.
Let's dive in. The sources point straight to President Trump imposing a huge 125% tariff on Chinese goods.
125%. Wow. And that's compared to what for other countries?
Well, that's the key difference, isn't it? Over 75 other nations got this 90-day pause, a baseline of just 10%. China was specifically left out of that.
So why? What's the reasoning given in the sources for singling out China like that?
It seems to circle back to those long-standing U.S. concerns, things like unfair trade practices, accusations of technology theft.
Right, and this whole idea of decoupling, trying to reduce how much the U.S. economy depends on China.
It's interesting. The sources mentioned Trump is still talking tough, but also kind of leaving the door open for talks. Maybe.
A hard line, but maybe negotiable. Okay?
Yeah.
But China didn't just sit back, did they?
No, not at all. Immediate response. They slapped an 84% tariff on U.S. imports.
84%, okay.
And issued warnings, basically saying, expect more strong responses.
So they retaliated strongly, which kind of invites more escalation, even if they saw this coming.
It's a definite ratcheting up. And the reports suggest it's already causing pain.
Yeah, I saw that. Manufacturing centers, especially in southern China, apparently really scrambling.
Things like production lines stopping, shipments getting canceled.
Even trying to offload cargo quickly to avoid the new tariffs. It sounds like chaos for businesses caught in the middle.
Definitely immediate disruption. But the sources also suggest China wasn't entirely caught off guard. There's the sense they've been preparing.
Rely less on exports to the U.S.
Exactly. And also actively building trade relationships elsewhere, not putting all their eggs in the U.S. basket. Think Asia, South America.
Okay, that makes sense strategically, but what about the immediate, wider economic ripples? We saw markets react, right?
Yeah, initially a bit of maybe a temporary rally in U.S. stocks, perhaps some hope for domestic companies. The sources quickly point to rising uncertainty. Investors, big multinational companies. It makes long-term planning incredibly difficult when the rules can change so drastically.
Right. And it's not just contained to the U.S. and China, is it? What about spillover?
That's a major concern highlighted. The worry is China might try to redirect all those goods, the excess capacity, to other places.
Like floating markets in Asia or Europe?
Potentially, yeah. Which could really disrupt supply chains and prices there, too. It pulls other regions into it, even indirectly.
And meanwhile, the U.S. strategy seems to be make deals with everyone except China.
That seems to be the approach outlined. Actively seeking new agreements, but pointedly leaving China out. The justification cited is about fairness, rebuilding American strength.
But does everyone agree that's the best way? Are there criticisms mentioned?
Oh, definitely. Sources bring up major worries that this could seriously backfire.
How so?
By hurting global supply chains even more, maybe raising prices for consumers everywhere, basically questioning if the intended benefits are worth the potential global economic disruption.
So when you step back and look at all this, tariffs, retaliation, market jitters, strategic shifts.
Yeah.
It feels like it's way beyond just trade figures, doesn't it?
Absolutely. The sources frame this much more as a broader geopolitical struggle. Economics is just one front, maybe the main tool right now.
A power struggle using trade as leverage.
You got it. It's about influence, technology, security, the whole shape of the global order, really.
Okay, let's quickly sum up then. We've got the U.S. hitting China with very high targeted tariffs, China responding forcefully. Both sides seem to be digging in for a longer period of tension.
And the immediate impacts are being felt, but there's also this longer-term strategic maneuvering happening, boosting domestic markets, seeking other partners.
And underlining it all is this shift, this recognition that it's not just dollars and cents anymore. It's deeply tied into geopolitics.
Couldn't agree more. The economic and the strategic are completely intertwined here.
Right. So here's a final thought to leave everyone with. As the U.S. pushes this idea of deliberate decoupling, how might that actually redraw the map of global alliances and, economic connections over the next few years? Think about the ripple effects. Even for countries not directly in the line of fire right now, what big shifts might be coming down the road? Something to chew on. Thanks for joining our deep dive today.